She's done a lot for the poetry scene.
Yeah.
I first found out about this woman when I looked up this really bizarre book that was published in the Chicago area, this really bizarre magazine called Children's Churches and Daddies. Who would publish a magazine called Children's Churches and Daddies?
Janet.
Janet. Who would publish a magazine called Down in the Dirt?
Janet.
Who would run a place called The Cafe? Poetry.
Janet.
Who would let me MC her show when she leaves town?
Janet.
Let's hear it for Janet Kuypers.
I have a few chapbooks of what I'm reading tonight of all brand new pieces. I'm going to hand them to you. You get to have one and distribute accordingly to whomever you see fit.
Wow, and she makes really cool book jackets too.
You bet. And I hope that everything's going to be set up for this. I am the lady that does all sorts of, would you like a book? And you guys can, there are books of me and other people as well as collection books there. I try to get something for everybody, and I don't want to carry all of these books, so that's why I'm offering them to anybody who wants them. And you might be able to get more than one, which is awesome. And I'm sorry I have all of these props. And usually I have somebody assisting me with doing video or, see, that's what I get with all the stuff on my way. With video or something, and I don't have that right now, so I'm trying to keep this minimal, oddly enough. And I'm going to start this first one with absolutely no extra things, no technology to help me out. No technology to help me, I know. This will be my acoustic mix, exactly.
Janet Kuypers unplugged. Let's hear it for her.
This first one was something I wrote the day after I went to what will be my new home. This is called Entering the Lake of Fire. I've been taken away. It was against my will. But I'm told it's for the best, and I always do what I'm told. I look out the window, see a smattering of lights. I'm sitting there and I'm seeing that, and I'm wondering where this tube is going to be taking me. On first glance, it looks like every other place. Every place except my home. I've had to gently place all of my dreams, my creations, into this pristine little box. Make it be as tall as the tallest skyscrapers. And then bury it deep in my chest, where all I love becomes a memory. I don't know what my destination will look like in the dead of night when I arrive. Everyone tells me I'll love it here, but an acclimated prisoner is still a prisoner. I look in the mirror. I've got to gain my bearings here. My hair is starting to curl from the heat, and it makes me wonder if I'm Medusa with snakes coming out of her head. And here I am trying to straighten my hair so that people might not be so afraid of me. So I might not turn everyone who turns my way into stone. But Medusa here has dreams. Creativity is crushed when I hide my heart, buried in that box of gems, never to sparkle again with a lack of light or the right lights. I know carrying past traumas has always been my secret skill, but Pandora here gave me a ball and chain that drags at my ankle and stutters my step. For now, I've closed that box as tall as the sky, and now my only choice is to enter Pandora's box, where all the evils of the world will follow me wherever I go.
You need your husband, that's what you need.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but this is really comfy, man. I don't put slippers on because this is comfortable, man. As I said, this one is called Unless It Happens to You. As I get my slippers on. I think my husband saw these slippers once and he was like, oh my God, I think my dad's slippers are here.
They're really comfortable. I can't help that but. I hope that's not too loud.
Unless it happens to you, you don't think it matters. And you just think the violence just rolls off you like water. So after you commute home, you flop on the couch and grab the remote and turn on the TV. You see that digital screen and you note how different the static looks from your cathode ray tube. So you flip on the news. MSNBC has a talking head relaying the injustices of a black man shot dead during a Ferguson protest. He was shot dead after pointing a gun at a police officer. Click. Turn to Fox News, where their talking head mentions another attack. A few Marines were killed while defending an outpost on foreign soil. You think for a minute about the men you know who went to war. They fought for our country. You sigh. Click. Wait, there has to be something to relieve my spirit. Some comedy, maybe. Something, But watching actors act like they're somebody else is the last thing I need, when that is all of us do every day already. So I'm gonna turn to the laptop. Let's scan those internet stories, maybe. Hey, they're still lambasting a dentist who paid a ton of money so that he could trophy shoot a lion and feel like a big man. And the thing is, people are in an uproar about this, like this lion's their new crusade. But people living in Africa kill lions for survival. I'll bet most of those protesters still like a burger at lunch, but forming flesh from this one lion, well, that's just far too unjust. It's like they idolize this lion, like a drawing from the Lion King. And they think that this killer is a noble beast. I'm sorry, but whether or not these protesters support Roar, I'll bet they'll think more about this one lion than they ever would about our dead Marines. I stare at the screen. I don't want to turn it off, because I think I can immerse myself in other people's problems and think that I don't have to think twice about them, because it doesn't affect you unless it happens to you. And all that's stuck in your head is the traffic on the expressway that made your day late enough to say, screw dinner, I'll just eat some leftovers and try to unwind in front of the boob tube. So you dejectedly give up and turn to that TV again, resort to network stations, and you bounce back and forth between shows dedicated to Hollywood gossip. Entertainment Tonight highlights a movie star. You don't know if she was famous before she had her boob job, but this woman just found out she was pregnant. And you think about the cancer that has raced through your family, picking out loved ones like they were targets in a firing squad. And without remembering the female actor's name, you have to change the channel to get away from this. Click. Oh, now it's TMZ, and they found Jenny McCarthy. Yeah, the Playboy Bunny, the MTV girl, that one. She was the one that had a child with autism and deduced that the autism had to be the fault of vaccinations. So she's the woman who made it her crusade without any empirical evidence to get a slew squadrons of mothers to not vaccinate their kids. There was a measles outbreak recently down at Disneyland. Measles in Disneyland. You heard me right. There is now a measles outbreak in the United States. But TMZ just went to commercial, so it's time to surf the web, I guess. So I'm gonna go through, and I just see, oh, here's another page for another set of actresses who claimed that Bill Cosby sexually assaulted them. They didn't know that they were drugged, which relinquished their right to consent. New York Magazine even showed 35 of his alleged victims all sitting in chairs, in rows, on the cover. And it made me think of the women who came to me with their stories about being raped. Some were 16, their boyfriend was older, they didn't know what to do. That's cool. They didn't know what to do. Some, they were given too much to drink but their housemates were given more so that they wouldn't be awake to hear. They were all scared that they wouldn't go away, and they didn't even have the physical bruises to justify their constant pain. And I just wanted to watch some mindless TV. Even if it was about horrors, I always thought that it doesn't affect you if it didn't actually happen to you. But the thing is, I started clicking and clicking over and over again, and I made these stories relate to me, and I made them about me. All of their horrors became my horrors. The protesters' lives lost on the streets, the ones who were armed, killed for doing their job, the cancer, the disease, the rape. And the more I think about it, the more I think that we all go through this pain. We know someone who has cancer. We know someone who has been raped. In a way, we've all been attacked. And we've seen death up close. And time heals all wounds, they say. So we've learned to deal with it and to tuck those horrendous memories deep inside of us and live with the pain that somewhere deep inside always burns, even as we try to forget. So we wear this pain like an old bathrobe, like an old pair of slippers, something comfortable. And all this trauma becomes a second skin. Something that we've had for so long, and we forgot when it started. We forgot when it all first started. But good or bad, it's almost like we can't live without it now. We don't know how to go back and live any other way. And we look at our TV, and we blink blindly at the horrors and completely forget when horror stopped horrifying us. We wonder. And once again, we click.
But I'm the lady of many outfits here, and aha! And I get to strip out of this for my next piece. Da-da-da-da.
Are we gonna do the song? Oh, you're not doing the other thing yet.
I have no idea what the song is.
The paperback song.
Oh, yes, I was going to, yes, because this next piece I'm going to read is called Open Book, and it's fun wearing these slippers around. And I'm afraid that I didn't get a tailor because I couldn't get anybody to custom make jackets that are made out of paperback novels. So you'll have to bear with me if this doesn't fit quite right.
I was staring right at that and I thought, oh, look at all those book pages.
Sir,
I never even made
sir
it
or
time.
madam, will you read this book? It took me years to tape. Will you take a look?
She was telling me about it all the way here.
So this is, yes, well, it's, you know, you gotta figure out fashion somehow, I suppose.
You gotta wear a paperback jacket.
Yes, the paperback jacket. Paperback jacket. Exactly.
I never saw anybody do this before. This is cool.
This is called Open Book. I've put on my jacket. I've set about my work. It's the same thing, day after day. I do my work, and everything feels heavier. I don't know what is wrong with me. I'm not sick, but I know I'm not well, and I know there's got to be something I can do about this. It's become so desperate that I inject medication in me to try to make the pain go away. And I continue to work, and the weight grows stronger. Now, I know my soul. I keep things hidden, but otherwise, I'm an open book. I've worn my heart on my sleeve, and I've even kept a tissue when the weight was suddenly too heavy. My book fills libraries. It's a never-ending epic. And I look through the pages. I look deep inside of me. I scan the pages. I scour the text. And for the life of me, I can't find what ails me. And as I said, I'm an open book. Oh, so someone should be able to break down the code of me and figure me out once and for all. And all I get are blank stares. No one seems to have the answers, so So I continue my work until I realize that my jacket, that my book jacket, that this open book becomes the burden. Not because of what I write, but because the answers may be buried so deep in the reams of written word that no one will be able to unlock with a key and figure out what is truly me. This is the strangest thing.
I don't know if I should, you know what, just forget it. I'm not even gonna worry about music, but I am going to take off my paper jacket.
I like your paper jacket.
Hey, this
very
is
much.
falling apart for a little paper jacket.
I think it should be auctioned.
You can auction it off.
I'm giving away books. If people want to pay for my jacket, they can. This is something I wrote today. And it's science-y because that's how the likes of me and Bob Lawrence go. And with the help of John. This is called electromagnetism. I've studied the science, and I've heard the physicists explain that when two solid objects are pressed together, they never actually touch. Because electrons repel, all objects remain one molecule apart. All the molecules that make us should always be pushing away. But wait a minute, that can't be how it works. Because the electricity I feel between us, the magnetism that draws me to you, makes me do anything but repel. And gravity can't hold everything together, so all that can explain my attraction to you is electromagnetism. I'm telling you, it's a fundamental force, and these electromagnetic waves are the light waves, so that I can see you. They're the radio waves, so I can hear and sense you. The heat I feel when I'm close to you. Well, electromagnetism brought it all together. Now, when it comes to the science, know that when the universe first started, electromagnetism is what drew protons and electrons together. So that created any matter ever in the universe. And all that matter that we think is so strong, your arms when you dip me when we dance, your hands when you hold me tight, your fingertips when they interlock with mine and we hold each other's hands whenever we're walking down the street. Well, keep in mind that right down to our electrons, microscopically, we're always in a battle to keep ourselves together when our molecules are trying to tear us apart. But this electricity I feel between us, this magnetism that draws me to you, this electromagnetism wins the war. When my heart quickens for you, I know that electric signal is what causes my heart to beat for you. And when I spring forward to you, that's electromagnetism in action. It's funny how I can use science so succinctly to explain why I need you so. And this is science, this isn't theory, because string theorists might say that we have always been bound to each other because a butterfly beat its wings in Barbados, or a sea lion saved her siblings from predators in the Pacific after an Antarctic ice shelf started melting. But I say it's more fundamental than that, right down to my heartbeat, right down to how you infiltrate my senses, right down to this electricity between us, right down to this magnetism we feel. Now that I've found you, I won't fight the laws of nature. The only thing I will ever do is to only fight for you. This is requesting time. How much time do I have, my darling?
Oh, Janet,
Thank you.
I talked to Ross, who runs the open
Yes.
mic, and Ross said Janet's back in town.
Yes.
So she could go a little bit longer. So do like one or two more pieces. Is that okay with you guys?
Okay.
Then we have one nightcap poet. So don't do four new pieces. Do
They're
two
like
more pieces.
they're like 4 or 5 minutes a pop. Is that okay?
Okay, do like
Awesome.
2 5-minute poems.
Got it. Then
And
these
that'll kick you off the stage.
kicking me off the stage because I'm just a guest here. I'm not a host.
And I also just realized something.
You're standing in the way of the cameras.
Spot your video.
Yes, you sure did. That's awesome.
Hi, video. I'm sorry.
No matter. This is one of 2. This one, he's like, I'm gonna stare at the
This is
camera.
cool.
This one is a shortened version of Everything Was Alive and Dying. I had a dream the other night. I walked out of the city to a forest, and there were neatly paved bicycle paths, and trash cans every 50 feet, and trash every 10. And then I walked a little further, and there was a stray cat. She still had her little neon collar on with a little bell. And she walked a few feet, stretched her front paws. Oh, she looked so darling. And then she walked right up to me in my dream, and she said, "Thank you." And I said, "For what?" And she just looked at me for a moment. Her little ears were standing straight up. And she said, "In some countries, I'm considered a delicacy." And I said, "How do you know of these things?" And she said, "When somebody eats one of you, word gets around." And then she said that sometimes the cow is sacred. Wouldn't they love to see how you humans prepare them for slaughter? How you hang them upside down and slit their throats so their still beating hearts will drain out all the blood for you. She said, "Isn't it funny how arbitrary your decision to eat meat is?" And I said, "Don't put me in that category. I don't eat meat." And she said, "I know." And then I woke up in a sweat. So tell me, Jeb Bush, so tell me, Chris Christie, so tell me, Rick Santorum, and tell me, Donald Trump, and wait a minute, tell me, Barack Hussein Obama. If you woke up from that dream, would you be in a sweat too? Do you even know why we should save the rainforest? Oh, just tear the whole forest down, preserve the delicate balance, ha ha ha. Tear it all down, what difference does it make? Put in some orange groves, or concentrate orange juice can be a little bit cheaper. Well, did you know that medical researchers search for natural cures for diseases? And a tree that appears in a rainforest with a cure may be the only one of its species, or one like it might be 2 miles away instead of right next to it. I wonder how many cures we've destroyed to plant more orange groves. Serves us right. You know my motives aren't selfless, but I'd like to find a cure to these diseases before I die of them. And killing an animal for food I don't need? I also know the excess protein pulls the calcium away from my bones and gives me osteoporosis, and the excess fat gives me heart attacks, and I know that we could be feeding 17 times more people with the same resources used for meat production. You know, I know you're looking at me and calling me an extremist, but I'm sitting here looking around me, looking at all the destruction caused by family values, and thinking that the right, moral, non-violent decisions are also those extreme ones. Everything is linked here. We destroy our animals, we destroy our earth, we're even destroying our air. We dump our waste into our lakes, we pump aerosol cans and exhaust fumes. And you tell me that I'm extreme. And we just keep doing it because deep inside we feel the pain of all that we've killed, so we pop a chemical-filled painkiller. And we live through the guilt by taking caffeine, nicotine, morphine, and we keep ourselves thin with saccharin, and we keep ourselves sane with our alcohol poisoning. And when that's not enough, maybe a line of Coke. And maybe we'll just take some more pills, walk into the garage, turn on the car, and just fall asleep. In the wild, you have no power over anyone else. Now that we're civilized, we create our own wild. Maybe when we have all this power, the only choice we have is to destroy ourselves. And so we do. Thank you. I'm going to stand emotional roller coaster unless he wants to hear Under the Sea after this. This is, I hope you like it, this piece is called Death Takes Many Forms. It is winter now. The trees have lost their leaves. The city is covered in a thin layer of soot and snow. The grass is dead. In the sunless sky, black birds circle overhead, searching for prey. An eerie cold settles over everything. Nothing is growing anymore. Death takes many forms. For you, death first came when you were 5 years old and your mother had to give you 3 shots of insulin a day. Did it hurt to put that needle into your arm the first time? Or did it hurt you more to know you had no choice? Death takes many forms. Death can be someone telling you without trying that they're losing their eyesight. Behind Coke bottle glasses, you would see me and say, "That's a nice black suit you're wearing." And I would tell you, "It's green." And you wouldn't believe me. You wouldn't hear the howling wind of the changing seasons. Death takes many forms. I know what follows the autumn wind. It is winter now. Do you remember when it happened? The changes are subtle. The temperature drops first only slightly. It's almost imperceptible. Only when the first snow falls do you realize where all the seasons have gone. Death takes many forms. Death can be a sweat-soaked shirt, the shakes, dizziness when you needed food. You would look as pale as a ghost as I would hold your cold, wet arm to steady you. Quick, some sugar will make everything better. Isn't everything better yet? Death takes many forms. The signs of death can tell when you lose your circulation. "My feet are numb, Janet," you'd say. I can't feel my feet anymore." And I would rub your feet for you, and you would say it makes a difference. You feel better. If only I could do this forever. Death takes many forms. I said goodbye to you to travel my own road, but I didn't think it was the last goodbye. How was I to know? When I left, I knew you didn't want me to go. And now it's my turn. Why are we always saying goodbye to each other? Are you trying to teach me a lesson? Because if you are, well, I've learned it. Trust me, I have. You can come back now. Death takes many forms, and now it seems you've taken me down with you. You've taken me down into that casket with you, and I'm running my hand along your jacket lapel. And I can feel the coldness of winter all around me. And I can hear them shoveling the dirt over my head. And I want to get out. And I want to take you with me. Death takes many forms. Death can be that hole you left. You know, right over here, a little to the left. I keep wondering when the pain will go away, when everything will be better. You once showed me that winters could be beautiful. Instead of the dark and dirty snow lacing the city streets, you showed me a quieting snowfall over a lake at your parents' backyard, glistening in an untouched whiteness. I told you I hated winters, and you told me, this you don't hate. Well, I'm still learning. It is winter now, and death takes many forms. The seasons change for you and I. It is snowing, and something is ending. It is snowing. Somewhere, it is snowing.
But here's the challenge. Do Under the Sea in 2.5 minutes.
Okay. First poem I ever wrote, Under the Sea. I'd like to be under the sea to watch the fish go swim. I'd like to squish a jellyfish and then let go of him. I'd like to grab a soft-shelled crab and take him for a walk. I'd like to hurdle over a turtle and teach dolphins to talk. I'd like to see a manatee and then go play by him. I'd like to do all of these things. If only I could swim. I have no idea of a venue. They all do music there, and I don't have an open mic to take over, so
Somebody needs to talk to them.
yeah, somebody needs to figure something out about that.
Okay, I would like you to take a picture with as many people as we can fit on stage.
I would love it.